You know what? I kind of feel like it's absolutely redundant to say things like, tomorrow's game is a must-win game. Bro, we've been saying it's a must-win game now for the past 3 months. I can't be repeating myself. At this point in time, the only thing I am personally hoping for right now is some divine intervention from the Lord above, because that is the only thing right now that can hopefully, turn this terrible form around at this point in time. I mean, we need to keep things absolutely real now. We're past the point now where, if Porter uses this guy or that guy, or if Porter uses this system or that system, or if I don't see this striker, if I see this striker, etc., bro. We are past this point right now. I feel like our issues are a lot deeper. It's deeper than factors like, injuries and players coming into the club. I think right now it's purely like structural and tactical on the field, because after that Spurs game, the reason why I've had this definitive opinion on Porter at this point in time is because right now I don't know what to expect in future games. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what is coming around the corner. I don't even know how we're going to play. And normally in my previews, over the years I've been doing it, I've got an understanding behind what to expect a little bit based on our previous ways of playing. But when that is constantly changing week in, week out, then what can you really do at this point in time? So honestly, I know I'm starting this video on a very bad note, a very negative note, but we need to keep things honest right now. We need some hope right now. And tomorrow at 3 p.m, we play against historical rivals in Leeds United, who are also having a bit of a mazza this season themselves. I mean, right now they're like 17th in the table. And if there was anything that you'd want to see, if you're praying that, we at least can get some wins, not even climb up the table. We haven't seen form this bad since Ranieri first taking over in 2001. That's like over 20 years ago. I'm looking at our previous form against Leeds United. Yeah, we lost them at Ellen Road at the start of the season under Thomas Tuchel, but at home, we have won our past 5 games. They do tend to struggle to get results here, but realistically, man, I think this season has shown that there are literally no rules right now. So whatever form we used to have means absolutely nothing at this point in time. And one thing I've been calling for a long time right now is I think it's time to put the drawing board plan to the sides and prioritize winning at all costs right now. I kind of think that when you have such a bloated squad, as I've been saying for a while now, the only way to maintain that type of status in the squad and keep the calm is by getting results. That's the only thing. And I feel like a lot of these new signings could actually learn what it means to get wins for us and the intangibles that go into getting wins, because in the Premier League, you can't just play beautiful football to get results here. The league is too difficult and it's too hard for that. So in today's preview, I'm going to break down some of the key talking points from Porter's press conference. I'm going to discuss team news. I'm going to give my 2 predicted lineups. Of course, I'll give my prediction right at the end. So my friends, I need you guys to do one thing here, because I'm a very superstitious guy. You need to hit that like button. We need to collect as much goodwill, faith and luck as possible in this fan base to hopefully get a result against Leeds United, because one more bad result at home against a team like this, it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good, bruv. So right now, let's start with things and let's discuss team news, and it's not looking too great. Now, of course, naturally, we understand players like Kante won't be taking any part. Thiago Silva is out for 6 weeks. We know this. Azpilicueta won't be in the team tomorrow after sustaining that head injury in the past few games. He needs a bit more time until he's it's safe for him to return back to the field. And Mendy is also training as well too, with guys like Pulisic, of course, slowly returning back alongside N'Golo Kante. But we do have some precautionary injuries at this point in time. And that's around Mason Mount, who Graham Potter today revealed has had a little issue with his lower abdomen. And Reece James won't be playing at all. Potter said he has a bit of a tight hamstring issue. And obviously, if you're feeling anything with your hamstring, especially for Reece James, who has constantly had these injuries time and time again, there's a reason why I wasn't angry for Graham Potter listening to the medical analysis, because I kind of think it's very arrogant to think you know better than professionals, or to know a situation better when you're not directly there, seeing what's happening behind the scenes. So right now, it's a bit of a pickle in terms of what the lineup is going to be, and more importantly, how we're going to play and approach the game against Leeds United. So before I give my predicted lineup, let's talk some of the key points that came out today from Porter's press conference. Now, to give you all a bit of a heads up, I kind of felt like this was a very standard and PR type of press conference. Normally when I'm listening to press conferences from every manager over the years, they've always been really PR to me, because let's keep things real. Managers will only be brutally honest unless they have something to personally gain from revealing like a little bit of truth in these press conferences. These are just professional PR type of things. And naturally, Porter was asked the same old questions. How are we training behind the scenes? With Porter saying things like, well, of course, we're doing good things behind the scenes, but it's not being reflected in results when we're playing on match days. Porter was asked about working with a bloated squad, and he's given standard answers like, of course, right now, none of us are happy with this situation, but currently the vibes and positivity within the squad is as good as it can be considering our negative results. So that's not giving you too much to work with. And to be honest, you could read behind those lines and think, well, obviously vibes are pretty bad right now. We've seen the reports coming out over these past few weeks. We even understand that guys like Mason Mount is getting a bit angsty behind the scenes due to his situation. So maybe Porter's right, considering how bad things are. I guess what he's saying is it could be a lot worse. When listening to the press conference, I kind of felt like there were tons of these boring questions that you're not going to get real answers to. But there was one question in particular that stood out to me, and I'm hoping this implies some positive things in the game tomorrow against Leeds. Porter was asked this question, a question that a lot of us have been thinking about behind the scenes right now, and that is it time to put aside the principles now and prioritize results? A lot of us have been saying this for a long time. I think right now it's too unrealistic to, build this super way of playing football whilst there's so many moving parts happening behind the scenes. And here's what Porter had to say. The most important thing is we win tomorrow. That is what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. That is the most important thing. It's easy just, building towards a process, but right now it's not going to happen during the middle of a season. As I'm stressing, there's too many moving parts to really get anything happening. And right now, it's getting worse now because there's no real strong structural ideas. I kind of feel like you wait for pre-season when the squad's cut down a bit more. And right now, prioritize results. When you have a squad with so many egos, so many international players, so many European class players, so many guys that have won trophies, the only way they can accept being out of the team is if the guys replacing them are picking up the points. That is how this game works. As I'm saying, it's very simple and very complex at the same time. And I kind of think that with all these injuries at this point in time, what we all want to see now is a scrappy, hard-fought win against a historic rival in Leeds United. So right now, I'm going to give my two predicted lineups for the game tomorrow. Now let's start with the first one, and this formation was the formation I wanted to see against Spurs. I'm hoping we see this against Leeds United, and that is the tried and tested 3-4-3. As I said in last week's preview for the Spurs game, we've picked up the most points under Graham Potter as he's turned towards using a back three setup. I kind of feel like right now having some stability, reducing our opponents' counter-attacking chances. If we can limit our opponents a bit more, hopefully the talent on the field can somehow find a way to get a goal, because that is the only thing we need right now. So for this lineup, obviously it's going to be a little bit experimental. I'm starting with Kepa in goal naturally. In defence, Badiashile on the left, Koulibaly in the middle, and Fofana on the right hand side. Wing backs, I've gone for Ben and Loftus-Cheek down the right hand side. Ruben has been good for us playing down the right hand side in previous games, and I kind of feel like Ruben gets zero credit for anything when he is a very reliable squad player, and every big club needs to have reliable squad players in their team. It doesn't make sense to me. In midfield now, I've gone for Enzo and I've gone for Zakaria. Now, originally I had Kovacic in this team, but obviously he has been having some fitness issues behind the scenes. Is he fully ready to step in and play a big game against Leeds United? Maybe, but I think realistically we need someone alongside Enzo that can win those duels, that can fight and tackle. Stats are showing that Enzo is getting dribble past a few times. Of course, that has been the case, but let's not forget that he's ranking quite high for recoveries, duels, tackles, etc, etc. I think that he needs a Zakaria alongside him against Leeds, because we can't forget that game at the start of the season. The energy they showed. Guys like Aronson caused us so many issues in terms of our build-up as well too. Tyler Adams in there as well, McKennie. We need that presence in midfield to help combat against Leeds. And up front, I've gone for Mudryk on the left, Sterling down the right-hand side, and I've gone for Felix up front. Now, this is where things are more experimental, but my thinking is this, yeah? Felix playing false 9 would imply that Mudryk and Raheem Sterling make inverted runs, kind of becoming makeshift forwards. I think that would be the way to go. At least Felix can be in front of our midfield and behind the attack. He can be that link-up guy that could be needed, especially playing in a free role. And I think Mudryk, hopefully this guy has a bit more fitness now to really show what he's about. But he has goal threat, he has pace, he can stretch teams, and he can run in behind. He's a very intelligent and technical player. And I think Raheem Sterling, of course, with his experience in the Premier League, and the fact that right now he's one of our highest goal scorers, which isn't really saying much in the context of the season. But he at least is someone I can rely upon, and where if he's in a good situation in an area, hopefully he can convert. This is my lineup I'm going for against Leeds United. And of course, let's discuss the second one now. That's going to be 4-2-3-1. Now, I have to say this is a little quick interjection, but why don't we use 4-3-3 anymore? Like, I kind of feel like, as I've been saying for a while now, like, are we expecting too much by forcing so many attacking players into one team at the same time when they haven't even played together in their lives? At least simplify the game a little bit more and protect yourself in midfield. But anyway, 4-2-3-1 would be my guess if Potter wants to maintain this way of playing. In goal, I've gone for Kepa. In defence, Ben, Badie and Fofana, who looks really good together against Southampton. As right back, I've gone for Trevor Chalobah. I think that when this guy plays on the right hand side of a back three, he does kind of have to fulfill like fullback responsibilities by pushing further up. And he has been quite decent playing in these areas because I can trust this guy defensively when he's defending out wide. In midfield, I've gone for Ruben and Enzo. Now, I'm not going for Ruben because of like some blind love and fascination, but the context of these videos is I'm guessing Porter's lineup. And if Porter has used Ruben and Enzo in the past few games, I feel like it'd be kind of dumb to not expect him to do something similar in future games. Obviously, up front, I've gone for João Felix in the middle, Madueke down the right hand side, Sterling down the left hand side, and Kai Havertz up front. The reason why Kai Havertz is in this team is not because of like any love affair again, but these tactical intangibles need to be understood. He at least can help us press further up the field. That is important. If you want to stop teams counter-attacking against us or making it hard for them to build up against us and not just slice through our midfield, you need the attacking guys up front to do their job defensively. At least Kai can be a bit of a platform considering we don't have that personnel on the squad right now. That's the reality. Now, I've gone for Sterling over Mudryk because, of course, Sterling has been playing more games recently. He is fitter and he has more experience in this league. And I think maybe Mudryk has like an impact sub. Could be the best way to use him at this point in time. And obviously, Madueke down the right-hand side. I kind of feel like, listen, Ziyech has been very poor. I understand the context, but I don't think I can see him anymore personally. I kind of feel like, listen, you guys know that I respect him and I like him. But times evolve, times change. And we have Madueke, who I feel this guy, if he can play to his strengths more, he's very good at holding the ball up, taking his man on. He's been very effective in his games playing. And he looks like he's been doing this for a while. There's something very intelligent about how this guy plays. And I think he should play on the right-hand side, giving us that ability to at least stretch their defence, cut inside. But at the same time, I kind of feel like we have seen Ziyech a bit more because maybe he does more defensively off the ball. But I think his attacking qualities should be focused on more, in my personal opinion. So ideally, this 4-2-3-1 is something I don't want to see in tomorrow's game. I'm hoping we go back to using a back three setup. Let's grind this result out. That's the most important thing right now. And let's hope for better things, yeah? So right now, I'm going to give my match prediction for the game. And I feel like realistically, I'm expecting it to be a draw. Like, no way we can lose another game, right? I mean, listen, it's not beyond us to do that right now. But it does kind of feel like getting a W and a win is like holy grail material at this point in time. If we could get a win, I would absolutely love it. Of course, we all would. The entire fan base is needing a win right now. A part of me feels like I should go on my heart and think, okay, this is a real opportunity now for Graham Potter to show, listen, it's time to make things happen because as we already know, potentially these are the 2 final games this guy has left to give some more faith and confidence to the board that have been publicly backing him now for a long time. And it's like, now is the opportunity to start doing what's right if you have any hopes of saving your job. Because as I said before, you don't want to get sacked. You don't want to leave this club regretting making silly, stupid decisions that you would never ever do because the pressure was getting to you too much. So tomorrow is an opportunity right now to show something at least before our massive game against Borussia Dortmund. So you guys, my heart's telling me 2-1. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be 1-1, but as I said at the start of this video, we need to collectively just have some hope that we can turn this around. So I'm going for 2-1. And on that note, I'm Nini FC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.